Every town has its own legends, and the small, mist-shrouded village of Thornwick was no different. At the edge of this eerie settlement stood an abandoned mansion, known to locals as the Grimwood House. For decades, it had been the subject of numerous ghost stories, the most chilling of which concerned a shadowy figure that appeared in its attic window. Few dared to go near the manor, especially after sundown, for fear of encountering the dark phantom. One autumn evening, driven by the thrill of adventure and a desire to debunk the myths, four friends Lily, Mark, Sara, and Jake decided to explore Grimwood House. Armed with flashlights and a single, shaky camera, they approached the creaking gate. The house loomed large, its broken windows like empty eye sockets staring into their souls. Unease settled over them as they stepped onto the overgrown path leading to the front door. Inside, the air was thick with the smell of rot and decay. Dust particles floated in the beams of their flashlights, creating an otherworldly glow. The wooden floorboards groaned under their weight as they made their way through the forgotten halls. Cobwebs hung like veils in every corner, and the distant sound of dripping water echoed ominously. Everything seemed frozen in time, and they couldn't shake the feeling that they were not alone. As they ventured deeper into the house, they came across a narrow, winding staircase that led to the attic. An unspoken sense of dread filled them, but they pressed on, each step bringing them closer to the unknown. Reaching the top, they found a heavy wooden door, its hinges rusted and barely holding on. Mark pushed the door open, and a wave of cold air rushed past them. The attic was cavernous and cluttered with old furniture and dusty crates. Shadows danced crazily in the flashlight beams, playing tricks on their eyes. In the far corner, they saw an old rocking chair, still as death. Lily stepped closer and noticed the faint outline of a figure sitting in the chair, a shadow that hadn't been there moments before. Her breath hitched as she realized the shadow was moving independently of their light source. Suddenly, the figure stood up, its eyes glowing a malevolent red in the dark. It let out a guttural growl that seemed to shake the very foundations of the house. Panicked, they turned to flee, but the attic door slammed shut with a deafening bang, trapping them inside. In a frantic attempt to escape, they banged on the door and screamed for help, but their cries were swallowed by the oppressive darkness. The shadowy figure advanced, its form growing larger and more menacing with each step. Just as it seemed their fates were sealed, Jake noticed a trapdoor on the floor. With desperate urgency, they pried it open and tumbled down into the unknown darkness below, leaving the eerie entity behind. They landed in a hidden cellar, beneath the mansion, breathing heavily and covered in dust. They stared at each other in disbelief, knowing they had narrowly escaped a grim fate. The legend of the Grimwood House had proven all too real, and the shadow in the attic would haunt their nightmares forever.